Hello, and welcome. As I get this off of my face, Brazil. Hi, I'm Sam. How's it going? Welcome, everyone, to the inaugural first live from the living room with Second Renaissance Arts. We have two amazing poets that we brought back. They were liked so much, we brought them back. Gosh darn it. We didn't get to show them off enough, so we got to do it again. Um, and then we'll have a phenomenal open mic to follow. We hope you stick around, join us. If you're interested in performing in the open mic, the link is in the description below. To register, just click that link. I'll send you how to get onto the stream, and we'll gladly invite you to join us. Without further ado, I think what I'll do is just say I'll introduce our first poet, our first performer, and we'll go from there. Cord Moreski is a poet from the Jersey Shore. Moreski is the author of The News Around Town from Maverick Duck Press in 2020, Shaking Hands with Time from Indigent Press in 2018, Stay Afloat Inside from Indigent Press in 2016, and his work has been featured in As It Ought to Be magazine, Unoya magazine, In Between Hangovers, Philosophical Idiot, Rusty Truck Press, Rye Whiskey Review, The Piker Press, and Silver Birch Press. Moreski hosts the virtual poetry series, The Couch Poets Collective. Everyone who is watching, welcome to the stream. Cord Moreski. Hi, Cord.
Hey, what's up, Sam? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
So I'll leave you to it.
Sweet, man.
You're good to start.
Thank you. So what's up, guys? How is everybody? So I'm going to read some poems tonight for you, and I'm going to be reading the majority from my last book that I just put out in December called The News Around Town. It's through Maverick Duck Press. I could put it through on the link, and also you can just go on to maverickpress.com as well. So I'm going to read a bunch of poems for you, and then I'm going to let Damian do his thing. So the first poem I'm going to read tonight is the first poem in the book. It's called A Thing of Beauty. A Thing of Beauty for Rucci College. When I was a kid, I used to have a neighbor named Rucci College. He loved Maiden and Sabbath and rode a black Harley with a Fat Bob fuel tank that had flame decals flashing on its sides. He owned a tattoo parlor out in Bristol, Pennsylvania. So each morning I watched as he left for work like it was a thing of beauty. He always started off revving his hog just enough to let the neighborhood know that he was there. Then he lit his stogie and adjusted his shades before he finally sped off like hell into the face of dawn. It didn't matter if it was shining or raining, snowing or sleeting. He drove so fast I swore nothing could touch him, not even death. Thank you. This next one is about how expensive New Jersey is, and how, as you know, living by the shore, it seems like the places that I grew up around seem to all be kind of changing, and there's a lot more there's less houses and a lot more luxury townhomes that are empty, that are super expensive. So if this relates to you, then you know what it's about. This one's called Brooklyn by the Sea. My friend Charlie tells me as we sit on a bench and wait for the last train of the night to arrive that he doesn't even recognize his own city anymore. The house he grew up in on Cookman is a hot yoga studio, and the school he attended as a kid is now a block full of luxury townhomes. Even the landmarks and mom and pop shops he used to haunt are being traded in for trendy art murals and lots for overpriced food trucks. But the developers, they keep buying and persisting, destroying and rebuilding, so that it's not so easy to hear those Springsteen songs along the boardwalk anymore. Charlie tells me that his landlord is raising his rent again, and that maybe his luck would be better if he and his family move out of New Jersey. Then he gets quiet for a moment as we watch our train pass us by like a fleeting memory, like a lifetime flashing before the inevitable death. So we both decide that all there's left to do now is walk, but have trouble figuring out which direction is home. Thank you, guys. These next two I don't read often. This next one I've only read once live, so here we go. This one's called A Request. I haven't said a prayer in years. Hell, I can't even recall the last time I stepped into a church. But at 5:39 a.m., I find myself in the kitchen asking for mercy. It's for my friend Lori, who lives upstairs from me in 12C with her husband Raymond, an English bulldog named Buster. The same Lori who drives a faint yellow VW Bug and blasts The Queen is Dead by the Smiths for the whole neighborhood to hear. The Lori who has an extra bedroom that was painted blue to pink to blue again, but over time the walls have faded into a vague purple with shades of hesitation and an empty crib in the center of the room that collects dust. Her water broke this morning, and the paramedics are strapping her into the ambulance. I waved at her through the slats of my window, then look at the congratulations card sticking out of my utility drawer that I've wanted to give her now for the last 5 years. They start driving her away as the sirens begin to blare until she finally disappears up the road into the twilight of dawn. I stare at my phone and then to the morning sky, which hasn't even decided what today will bring. I'm waiting for the call. I got a few more for you guys. This next one, like I said, I don't read often either. This one's about my brother, and it was originally in As It Ought to Be magazine. It's called Aubrey, for Andrew Moreski. My parents had just killed their bedroom lights when I decided to sit on the porch after supper, listening to Let It Be by The Replacements and sipping on Fat Tire in a broken beach chair. It was September, and all that was left in this shore town were locals and the subtle hints of autumn in the ocean air. That was when my little brother Andy came out of the house and introduced me to Aubrey. He told me as he took a seat that he met her back when he was 6 years old. Andy snuck into our older sister's bedroom and saw Aubrey's reflection in posters of Ginger Spice and Belinda Carlisle, in palettes of eyeshadow and lipstick, and in the array of powder brushes and bags scattered like pirate treasure along our sister's vanity. They continued to talk in high school. He wrote love poems for her during 8th period composition class, repeating the mantra, "Love has no identity." Then they moved to Astoria together after college. She told him to grow his hair past his ears and down his shoulders to drown out the sound of gossip that would be about him, to paint his fingernails blacker than the looks he would receive, to wear his thrift store dresses and stilettos better than any woman he would ever know. One day, Andy told me, as we clinked our beers together, I'm going to introduce her to Mom and Dad, but that's whenever she's ready. Okay, I got 4 more, guys, and then that's it. The next 2 are brand new. This first one is dedicated to Charles Joseph. So, if you don't know Charles Joseph, check out his poetry. But for Damian and I, he was like our mentor, and he doesn't write poetry anymore. He's retired. He just fishes now. So I wrote fishing poems about him, and this is one of them. And the last couple of lines are borrowed from Raymond Carver's photograph of my father in his 22nd year. Here we go. It's called Believe Me, Chum. Believe me, chum, I'd be lying to you if I said that the thought of leaving this poetry life behind hasn't swum behind my ears lately like a lonely bottom feeder, and traded all in for a cheap rod, a few cold brewskis, and some impressionist sunset I could ponder on as it eventually leaves me with the night. Chuck, I love you. Yet, how can I do that? I, who can't hold my liquor either, and don't even know the places to fish. Thank you, guys. I got 3 left. This next one is a new one that's going to be in something I'm going to be doing next year, and it goes out to my friends Katie and Mattia. It's called Apartment Karaoke, and this is about the service industry life and working your ass off and just trying to survive. And so this one goes out to them. It's called Apartment Karaoke. They say the world is coming to an end sooner rather than later, and I'm sure they're right, but tonight is Apartment Karaoke. After another double at the restaurant, after another missed family gathering, after another order ticket stabbed for people more comfortable than any of us will ever get the chance to know. You let your hair splash along your shoulders while you serenade the company of insomniacs and dreamers, burnouts and believers, with Whitney Houston's I Want to Dance with Somebody, as your voice carries through the cloudy living room like confetti in the wind, celebrating another night we all forgot about death for just a little while. All right, I got 2 left, and these last 2 are in the news around town. If you guys are interested, I do have a couple signed copies. You can message me, and I definitely will send them out to you. This next one I'm going to dedicate to Sam and Damian and Sarah. Thanks for for having me tonight. This one's a small one. It's called Porch Poem. I don't know about the meaning of life, nor am I an expert on certainty, But right now, as I sit on my porch steps and stare at the moon clocking into another autumn night in New Jersey, a few things are for sure. This 6-pack of Cold Pale Lager is the perfect remedy after working a 10-hour shift. And the sausage sandwich my wife has cooked with the only ingredient she could find in our kitchen is made with pure love. And Chet Baker playing tenderly on my portable radio is bringing me to tears as I smile and hum along to the rest beneath an audience of stars. Yes, it's times like these I know I'm onto something. All right, this is my last one, guys. This goes out to all of you tonight. The beautiful thing about being in the poetry scene and the art scene is that you meet other people and they become like your family and your friends. And, you know, it's crazy. The world's crazy out there. So just having this common interest with each other, it's a beautiful thing. And I see so many wonderful people. I've met so many wonderful people. And this poem is about that. And, you know, we might not talk to each other all the time, but when we bump into each other, it's amazing. So this one goes out to you. This one's called Where We Left Off. Before I even touched the bar counter, I ran to an old buddy of mine and immediately picked up where we left off almost a decade ago. I ordered a pitcher as we reminisce about traditional tattoos and the road trips to punk rock shows, and about keggers we kicked the hell out of every weekend, and the 3 a.m. diner meals of coffee and carbs topped with grease and syrup. We laughed into our glasses until they fogged, then drank the beer from getting warm. And when it was finally time to go, back to the spouses and the 9-to-5s, back to the array of bills and the uncertainty that waited for us outside the tavern doors. We left our conversation in mid-sentence so we could pick up the rest of it again the next time we got the lucky chance of bumping back into each other. Thank you, guys. My name's Cord Moreski. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Cord. That was. Cord, can I bring you back? I want to ask. That was so much fun. Hold on, I'm bringing you back on just like. Hi, Cord. That was amazing.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much. It felt good to read. It's been a while.
that was. So first, I really liked the. I like the shout out. It makes me feel nice. But the Charles Joseph one makes me very happy.
Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta dedicate something to him, right?
Yeah. So once again, if you share the link for that, for what you wanted to share, let me know. I'll put it in the comments so this way everyone can see them.
Yeah, definitely. I'll just put the Maverick Duck Press as the page right there. And again, like you could follow me like on Facebook, message me. I've got if I got a couple signed copies left, if anybody wants one, definitely.
Awesome.
Cool. Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you. All right. Our next guest is a well-known name in the poetry community. The former host of Poetry in the Port, the current host of the Chamber Cantos, the self-proclaimed poet laureate of every 7-Eleven parking lot in New Jersey, and a truly well-known bowling champion who constantly keeps finding different things in their basement. Give it up for Damian Rucci. Hi, Damian.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Congratulations on your skill as a bowler.
Thank you. You mean like these trophies, it wasn't easy to win, but if there's one thing besides bowling that I love more than anything, and I do love bowling, it's reading poetry. And that's why we're here.
All right.
So
you can start whenever.
I'm gonna get. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Damian Rucci. I'm gonna read some poems when I'm not bowling. You know, when I'm not doing that mean strike down the bowling lane, I like to do poetry. And this poem is my experience with the pandemic. Just a little touch. Everyone's wearing masks, and it's not even Halloween. It's later than that now. The leaves have fallen across idle and empty streets. Smiles are now a forbidden fruit. Eyes, the last bastion of contact. I never knew how much I used to read lips. My brother's been reading lips since 1996. The world, a muffled boombox on the edge of the cosmos, a floating mural of yearning. I know beauty still lingers on the edge of quiet contemplations. All the coffee shops are closed. All the parties are over. The world is hushed like a first snow. My footsteps echo alone on Myrtle Avenue. There is nothing normal about this newness, but there is no resolve but to submit. Boom. All right, I'm reading from the New Prophets of Poetic Discord. It's my little poetry troupe of traveling crazy road poets, and this is our second release. And even if we did, so what? DM me if you want a copy, or tons of bowling alleys be selling them on the racks. So if you want to, you can find them there. This is another skeleton to step over. Diogenes could never tell the difference between the bones of the slaves or of the kings, and what makes me any different. The stories I carry in the shadows of my bleeding heart aren't novel. The cross I carry on my back is secondhand. I picked it up to see Missouri sunsets and rot. I walk the asphalt Via Dolorosa looking to feed my habits. My crown of thorns is a crown of jackals. I'm never at peace. Only when the moon hangs high and my memories play out in the shadows, vignettes of a past I'm not really sure of. Times when the breeze blew gentle on my scalp and laughter cured it all. But I'm still walking. The houses I pass are monuments of joy I will never reach. The people in the windows sit down for dinner. They toast to another evening. I look away. I sing posy and kick cans towards my own undoing. The prodigal son returned and nobody cared. I sent myself to exile and I came back astray. Just another skeleton to step over, another skeleton to turn to ash. Boom. Thank you. This next poem is the title poem of this poetry troupe collection-y thingy called And Even If We Did So What? It's called And Even If I Did So What? And that's what I told those sons of bitches at the Elks when I won the last bowling championship. And even if I did, so what? I guess you have me figured out. I never shot the sheriff, but I sure as hell broke the toilet. I've prowled empty streets for baggies of white trash divine. I've breathed the Atlantic and cursed the sky. I've played Robin Hood so we can eat, and I'm not sorry, I'd do it again. I've chased country sunsets without ever thinking once to look back towards home. I went searching for myself and got lost. I've quit every job I've ever had. I've spit in the face of convention and paid the price of your own indignation. My head's been wet with the midnight dew. My shoes have worn down from running away. I swing for home runs every chance that I get, and I know one day I'm going to hit the ball. I've rolled boulders up and down suburban hills and searched for honest men at twilight. I traded my teeth just to get off. Can you believe it? My tooth fairy is a tweaker with a heart of gold. I've made best friends in fist fights and buried the myths I held sacred in unmarked graves in Indiana. I've been rich in fleeting moments and so poor I couldn't afford to pay mind to any of your concerns. I lost faith in myself and I found it right where I left it, under all of my baggage. I walked into the belly of the beast and I came out with the motherfucker's head in my hands. What I'm really trying to say is I don't regret a thing about winning that bowling champion at the Elks. Thank you. I'm going to read a couple more. This next poem is a sad poem. Remember like it was just yesterday. Got crushed. Got 2 spares at the VFW bowling championship. As you guys know, I am a bowling master. I was very sad about that. And it's a poem about that. It's called This Illness. I watch the cars up and down Broadway, across from CAG's bicycles. I wonder how many drive idle with heavy hearts. How many drift aimless home from work with grease burned in their arms, with tears scarred into the corners of their eyes. You can scrub the dirt from your skin, but you can't clean this illness from your bones. I am sick, and she is sick, and we were born into this sick world. The medicine men on the corners hold our dreams and aspirations. We've traded Californian vistas and white fences for landscapes of death and urban rot. Tonight, I say I'm going to kill myself. I said this every night for months. And with each haunted evening, I tiptoe closer to oblivion with the faith of a preacher. Thank you. You know, sometimes that shit just really brings you down. but you gotta work them fingers and just get ready for it. I'm gonna read two more poems, guys. I want to thank Sam for having me on. The poetry scene is tiptoeing and just rolling along like a bowling ball down a beautiful polished lane. This is We're Cooking and We're Not Even Chefs for Rich Heiner, another man he loves bowling. Enough of this, and you cure the longing. Enough of this, and you can find yourself building mountains out of piles of dust, building meaning from the endless despair. But with this, we are not broken. We are constellations of trauma and loss. We are cogs in a sinister corporate machine. We are doing just fine until the drugs are gone. But even swan songs have gentle melodies, so we hum and laugh and stumble over the words like it's not the only damn tune we know. We live by the golden rules of the ones before us. What goes on in this room stays in this room. And you're not a junkie if you're wearing your work boots. And that the counter in the meat closet isn't for eating, but for following lines to their own conclusions, just like we're doing, following each balloon to heaven. In the blood on the floor, our reflections paint scarlet vignettes of better men who greet each morning clean and innocent, praying to their 12-step totems. But that life was never meant for men like us. We were born to drink our pain from the work nights, to climb out of the gutter where we were born, to make the whole damn neighborhood proud, to greet each morning with our heads above our hauntings. The real truth is something that can't be spoken. The sins of our fathers are scarred on our souls. We built ourselves from the ruins of other men's dreams. You can clean up your act, but your eyes will carry the burden. And ours hold the stories that only come out at night when the party is over and our work boots are off and the liquor outweighs our reservations. At twilight is when the dogs come out of the men, and we can curse the heavens and tilt our hats to hell, and the silence that befalls us will say it all. Boom. All right. Very cool for me to be on here. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you. If you want to know anything about my bowling, you guys want to shoot a couple matches, let me know. Hit me up. This is The Weekend Kept Getting Longer. By the way, Elks champion. Who wants it? Anyway, The Weekend Kept Getting Longer. Because it always does. Singing Queen all the way home from the Casey's General Store down Bland Avenue to the Art House. Maybe we're not the champions, but we are the night. We are alive, drunk on Beast Ice and Missouri Twilight Dew. We are vagabonds who have run out of gas money. We are scab-knee philosophers. We are fools who refuse to show up to the cubicle, but we're in God's country, and the trumpets of his angels are the blaring horns of the tractor trailers racing onwards down Route 89. We all have a cross to bear, and tonight it's you, weighing down our shoulders as we carry you past the post office to the back porch to smoke and laugh. The devil would find you first, haunt your bones with late-night visions. After that night, we never see you again. What fate befell you would befall us all. The weekend just kept getting longer. Moses wasn't the only one who never made it into Canaan. We flocked to you like a shepherd. We got lost. Boom. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you for joining us, Damian. Congratulations on your illustrious bowling career. Now that you are taking time off from bowling, I'm glad that you found a passion in poetry.
It's not the same thrill, and no matter how many books you sell, you'll never get these trophies. You know what I mean? You'll never have this gold you bring down into your basement.
Yeah.
You will never feel victory or glory, but it's inside.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you both for joining us. So at this point, we will transition into the open mic portion. Anything either of you would like to say before we start that?
Right off the rails, right in the bumper.
Always off.
Right. Eat your vegetables.
Eat your vegetables.
Thank you so much. Once again, if you would like to join the open mic, please do. Thank you again to Cord and Damian. While we're getting started with the open mic, I guess I'll start. My name is Sam Rubenstein. I do write sometimes. I'm a terrible bowler, but a mediocre axe thrower. And I wrote this poem. Actually, I wrote this poem at one of Damien's events, the Chamber Cantos in New Brunswick. Strongly recommend. The next one is on the 28th. You should go to it. But I wrote this poem there, and I dedicate this poem to Cord Moreski. This poem is entitled, If I Get Fired, It's for Radicalizing My Students. When I was a kid, I'd always ask my teachers, what they thought. I wanted their opinions, their feelings. I wanted to have that knowledge that my teachers were human with ideals and freedoms that they believed in. But more often than not, what I would always get was, my job is to teach you, not tell you about my personal philosophies. What bullshit is that? See, now that I have become a teacher, I have suddenly realized that every teacher that I ever had snuck their feelings into each lesson. They gave us their thoughts with their hearts and put it all into the work. So let me be very candid right now. If my students ever figured out what I was trying to say when I say my job is not to give you my personal philosophies, what they would learn I mean is I'm angry for them. I hurt for them. I am tired of how shitty this world has suddenly been for them. If my students were to ever figure out what I meant, they would realize how much I want them to have all of these amazing opportunities that were stolen from them when they were too young to say otherwise. I need my students to learn this. I want my students to learn every indignity that they do not know they have suffered so that they can fight against it. But I want them to learn all of this on their own. Because when they finally decide to grab the guillotine and torches and burn this whole thing down, I don't want them to be able to turn around and say, Mr. R showed me how. Thank you. This next poem, I feel like I have to dedicate it to Damian. Damian, I told you this story last week, and I need you to know the poem that it comes from. In 2019, I achieved one of my childhood dreams and got a book published. My first ever book of children's poetry got published. In 2020, I achieved another childhood dream, and I got banned from a literary magazine. And this is the poem that got me banned. It's called A Message from the Editorial, from the editors of Angry Weasel Press. Good news! The Angry Weasel Press is once again accepting submissions for our annual literary magazine, Friends of the Forest. Unfortunately, after last year's fiasco, the editing team here would like to inform all potential submitters that the Angry Weasel Press is not, nor have we ever been, a furry publication. We would like to apologize to the members of the furry community internationally. However, after the confusion last year regarding our journal's name, we were inundated with furry art and literature. We here at the Angry Weasel Press respect the furry community and believe that all art is valid and important. But we are just not comfortable with the amount of graphic, intense, and sexual material that we received last year during our submission season. Like, it was a lot. It was so much. Too much. Listen, we do not need 36 paintings of Donkey Kong and Fox McCloud T-boning Pikachu. As such, it is vital for our editing team to plainly state this. The Angry Weasel Press is not, nor have we ever been, a furry publication. Thank you for your continued support, and we look forward to reading your submissions to our annual publication, Friends of the Forest. Sincerely, the editing team at the Angry Weasel Press. That is a true thing that I sent to an actual publisher with a very similar name and received back please do not submit here. And so I guess my final one that I will read, because I always want to end on a somewhat serious note. This poem is called Generational Mortician. When we were little, they told us we could be astronauts and explorers, build spaceships and see the stars. Sometimes you just need some adventures and back alley lobotomies to turn you off or on, depending on your mood. As if this world isn't messed up enough, we've created dystopia from rocks and old casinos, traveled down barren highways towards cataclysm with apocalyptic imagery. There has to be something more than huffing spray paint in an abandoned movie theater until the screens light back up. Or maybe there really isn't anything else here. Maybe the explorers have found all of the new places. The capitalists built all over them, and then everyone shut them all down and left rotting corpses where the trees used to live. And we have nothing left to become but generational morticians trying to figure out where the good times were and who decided to kill them all. When we were little, they said we could be anything, astronauts and explorers. But someone went and bought all the spaceships, and there was never anything new left for us to see. Thank you. I am Sam Rubenstein. If you are interested in performing in the open mic, you are free to sign in, let us know. And otherwise, I think we are finished because none of the people who are registered have responded. Where is everyone? Opinions. Cord, Damian, what should we do? What are you thinking?
They're bowling, man.
They're out bowling. Everyone went out bowling.
They're bowling.
We started out strong.
I was just saying, whenever I get down, Sam, and I don't know what to do, I just look at my trophies.
He's gonna polish his trophies later.
Is that what they call it nowadays?
Yeah.
All right. So I guess this is where we end because I do not have anyone who has signed up. Thank you very much to Ron for following along, listening, and joining. Any information we will gladly send you whenever we do our next one. Thank you to everybody for being here. Hi, Joseph. How's it going? Would you like to read? Because Joseph may want to read. If we have one more, let me know. Well, wait, because there's a little bit of a delay. Yeah, okay, let me see.
Strike.
There we go. One person. Okay. Oh, there you are, Joseph. I sent you a link. I'll send it to you in the comments as well. Let me send this over. Invite. Joseph, I have sent you the link for you to join us. Come on down. You just need to click on it and it'll sign you in. So while we're waiting, that was a true story, Cord, that happened to me. During the pandemic, I saw a lit mag that had.
I know what press you're talking about.
I have a feeling I know who you're talking about too.
Oh my gosh! Did you really?
The name's pretty close.
Yeah, Cody, I gotcha. I will send you the same link.
I like them, but like I saw the editor's tweets and like he doesn't like bowling, so like.
Okay. All right. Joseph, welcome to the chaos.
What's up, man?
How's it going?
Hello, you hear me?
Yeah, we can. All right, Joseph, you will have the floor. We will all depart from this mortal coil.
Everything's going good.
Go for you. Got like 2 or 3, however,
Hold on, there's like a double.
If you're on the Facebook feed, you'll get the sound from the Facebook feed.
So what do I do? Oh, get off the Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is it good now?
Yep.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I have two pieces. The first one is entitled Document. I understand that you feel crushed, that I have left you on back burners, dark corners, wet locations. Absent of even "are you okay" whispers, but I need you. Not tomorrow, for tomorrow will be enclosed with marble caskets. I'm rolling the dice that I will find you within the next 3.5 minutes. I've been searching, fingers moving like buried bone, tears dripping, blinding my vision and goal. You warned me, but I didn't think this would happen. Didn't think that where I left you would turn into a rabbit hole. Didn't think at all. There were moments when I heard you scraping at the zipper, a fly with many places to go, but chose my face. I swatted and ignored. In case you can hear me right now, I'm searching for you in a crowd of Aya likes. Hard to find Waldo in the land of stripes, but I'm confident we will reunite. Confident that I'll receive a clue, your scent, your beauty mark. It has been so long, but I remember everything about us. I held you in my right hand, wrote my name on your heart on April 23rd, 2012, told you that we'd never separate and put you away for safekeeping. And safe is where I should have kept you. I hold my most prized possessions in this JanSport. For 8 years, it has seen books come and go, seen money, food, folders come and go. So I placed you in there with full knowledge that you would return safely in my hands, but I can't find you. I've been searching in this damn book bag for 20 minutes now. I'm hoping that you didn't think you were too good for my $20 book bag and slipped out now, blowing away on a block somewhere, in the street somewhere, making out with a street sweeper somewhere, because it's hard to get by just upon a smile, girl. Hard to get a job with staples in your face. So you best be in this bag somewhere with a muzzle on your mouth, unconscious, oblivious to your surroundings. It's getting hard. It's getting hard to believe that this relationship is one-sided, that your heart is without sight, and you're siding with us, splitting me, putting my life on the line, and you behind the margins, putting double space between us. A bold move, but these boulders that you moved in front of me are no obstacle. I'm still searching for you, searching for a way to staple us back together, to find what tore us apart. Both hands in the bag, grab onto me. Thank you. I guess I should have said it was a slight personification piece. But yeah, that's the first poem entitled Document. Second piece is the intro to a project that I'm working on. I wonder what would happen if I removed the screws completely. Sentence I would if I was given life to use any way I wanted for a crime I couldn't commit. It's true that truth be told what to do, piercing to the ego when I don't listen. Heathrow of Britain, my landing had me in knots, tied down to spots is unlike me. Not everything is black and white. Limelight, I don't rhyme right. I do actually, my fine right is on ortho. Docs beheld by crazy glue, lazy through many years of my progress, pot and incense, ripped pages from my innocence, the tapeworm for success, helped with my early process, take turns in recess, I would often regret, tease for wearing rejects, but my favorite player was known for his rejects. In a sense, I used the sixth sense to clarify that the pot I was referring to was the one that called the kettle black, kettle chip on my shoulder for carrying this burden of a knapsack, fired up after a cat nap, wanting to go longer, but I have to cat nip it in the bud. All that was to say, once the film was removed from the pathway, plaques, accolades became less of a goal, and I, more like Tim Howard, Ron Howard with my direction, Dwight Howard with my rise and fall, and rise and fall, and lastly, Howard Stern with my decision in eliminating all these Howard the Ducks running around. Let's get dangerous, shall we? Thank you.
Woo, that was phenomenal. Thank you so much, Joseph.
Thank you.
If you would like to, in the private chat, just let me know, or in the comments, where we can find your information, any work that you want to share with us. It's always much appreciated.
No problem. I will.
All right. Thank you. So our next uh, poet, speaker, guest was with us our first time we ever tried this, and so I'm glad to have him back. Welcome to the virtual stage, Cody Smith.
Nice.
Howdy,
Thanks.
Cody.
Thanks.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I'm glad you guys are continuing to do this. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. All
All
right.
right. So
You have the floor.
I'm trying to remember what I did last time. I think it was TCQC. If I recall correctly. I have a memory like a goldfish, so bear with me. This one we'll try is called Why Do We Do What We Do? It goes, why do we do what we do when things go from brand new, like meeting that one with those eyes, angelic blue, to believe in what you have is real and true, to sitting back and enjoying the view, to getting so sick, like coming down with the flu, or feeling like you're stuck like the superest glue, like nowhere to go, trapped, feeling it tough and hard to adapt to this strange change known as a relationship crap, because it's different. The messages sent, the time spent, what those kisses used to mean as opposed to now is what they've meant, because it's not the same anymore. And I beg or implore for a lion to roar as loud as he did at his proudest, because it's not going to be the same, not as loudest, because the hunger is no longer there. It's not a lack of care. It's just a fact. It's not fair as you go from that, that long lasting, loving stare to that lackluster, you're a clusterfuck glare, but a retaliation only thought, because to speak I would not dare, to compare with not a glimmer nor an ounce or even a spark of care. But as we go from that to this realization that our impulse was acted on due to our first sensation, but since you want this train to stop at the next station, well, we move on to an apology. And honestly, between you and me, sure, you can take that nail out of that tree, but what you don't understand and what you fail to see is the unfixable size of that HOLE from those words you leave behind. And it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And I know if I just keep saying and repeating that line, or spit a rhyme, or give some time, that hole can be filled, where you can dine on some wine. But no matter how skilled, no matter how hard you try, you're still left unfulfilled, because no one can replace that blood that's been spilled, from whom speaks aloud their current emotion, whether meek or proud or trying to cause a commotion. But just like that storm that rages over that ocean, well, it too shall pass if we just breathe in slow motion. And we learn that the first thought, it isn't always right. And despite what you're taught, that one day you might remember the things you forgot, like that warm inner light, and stand up for what you love, and show you're more than a fight, more than a misunderstanding. You're two wings to the same plane. So whether you're taking off or landing, you need to work together, evolving, expanding, and learn to run past the problems instead of being stuck there standing and dwelling. And it's how my thoughts cause my brain swelling as I find that the power of belief so compelling, as we go from smelling to admiring, from rebelling to acquiring, from propelling into retiring, and now staring at that one, still admiring those eyes with nothing to do, and looking back to those memories of those eyes, angelic blue, and how life has never left those beautiful eyes. And it had taken falling off this horse to make me realize that it's not the falling down or the attempts or the tries. It's accepting that shitty burger that comes with those yummy fries. It's the good with the bad, or what's truly worth your time. And how it's kind of sad that I can only express this through rhyme. And the truth is, I just want to hug you, because that's where I feel most sublime. And I would be lying if I said I wasn't trying to smile instead of sighing, because I'm like a fish out of water frying who just needs to stop denying this truth that I wish I had met you earlier in our youth, so we could have held hands a little longer and grew our relationship stronger. But instead, here alone, I wander, wondering, feeling weaker, and the goals and ambitions for the future are now meeker, but they're still there. And I not fear nor care to share the real reasons I was never emotionally there, because really, it's not fair to the me's and the you's. I just wanted to get lost for a lifetime in those baby blues and just answer the questions to why we do's what we do's. But here I'm left without the slightest of clues, feeling abused with only myself to blame. And it's a damn shame, because the pain is all the same. It's raw, but it also ignites the flame, and it lays law. It makes rules. It makes you protect your crown jewels, because picking up them pieces and piecing it takes a while. Replacing those thoughts that are vile with a smile, it leaves you in denial that it can't be done. But it can. You just got to be a man and stop running and trying to hide, because those strings that you tie are the knots you abide, and the lies that you tell is the hell. But where's the wise? Where's those thoughts in your mind that make us realize we're equal and there's never to be a sequel? You only got you. So just take a minute and ask yourselves, why do we do what we do? So there you go.
Thank you so much for joining us, Cody. Always a pleasure. Once again, any links or anything for us to follow you, just let us know.
Cody TKO Smith on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or all that stuff.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
And
with that in mind, unless I missed someone, we are actually, everyone has gone that has signed up. And I want to say again a huge thank you to our features, Cord and Damian, for being our first two guests here. And thank you to Joseph, Cody, and Ron, actually, who joined just to watch and have a nice time. Thank you all, and we will see you next time at Live from the Living Room. All right, goodbye.